Welcome to a special early edition of the BlueNote Fan Report. The regular BlueNote Fan Report will happen at the bottom of the hour in about 15 minutes or so. But I wanted to take this time to address something that I know a lot of you may have some concerns about. If you've looked at my Facebook in the last 2-3 weeks, you notice I've been posting a lot of stuff, and a lot of people have been worried about me. On Tuesday, something happened, a personal thing happened that became a straw for me, right? It became a very big straw. And I got to a point where I could no longer control my emotions. I couldn't control my sadness. I couldn't control my anger. I couldn't control my hate. I couldn't control any emotion at all. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you've looked at me, if you've been with me for a while, you could probably look at my face and notice my face is thinner. I've lost 35 pounds in about, I'd say, between 2 weeks and a month. I just had a whole bunch of personal stuff happen all at once. And I got to a point where I was extremely afraid of what I could do. I want to say this first thing right here, right now, and I want everyone to hear it. I want to say a huge thank you and gratitude and appreciation to Keiko Bensing, who for somehow on November 20th will have put up with me for 30 years. She will have been married to me. She will have been my wife for 30 years. And this woman should have been gone a long time ago. There's no reason why she should have stayed with me. She should have been gone a long time ago. And even with all this stuff going on, she should have been gone. Tuesday, she got off work at 7 o'clock. She took me to the hospital. She has to be at work 6 in the morning. She gets up at 4 and takes her shower, makes her lunch about 4:30, and at 5 o'clock till about 5:45, she does what's called gonyo, or our prayer. She took me to the hospital on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and we didn't leave till after midnight. She got very little sleep, but she showed concern for me. I want everyone to know that no matter what's going on, that I will always appreciate and love Keiko Bensing for what she's done. Period. You know, I don't know what the next chapter is going to bring, but whatever it is, I will always appreciate her. And I will reiterate that. I will always appreciate her for standing by me for so long, when in all actuality, she probably should have. But with that being said, and also, I know a lot of you probably are very inquisitive. What's going on? What happened? What happened? What's happened? You know, what happened to me personally absolutely does not matter. Absolutely does not matter. Okay? I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Whatever it was, whatever it is, it's mine. It's mine. It's my personal thing. It's what I am dealing with. A lot of you have reached out to me. Some of it has been for the better, and some of it hasn't. And I don't want to be mean to anybody, and I'm not. Some of you have been very helpful. Others of you, unfortunately, have not been helpful. Right? I am in therapy. Let me repeat that. I am in therapy. Okay. I have seen one therapist for the past 4 years. Another therapist I was seeing just retired. The VA gave me a different one. I didn't like her. I stopped seeing her. They are working with me to get me a new one within the next week or so. And I see a psychiatrist. I really do. And with all this being said, if you want to know why I'm here right now talking about these deeply personal things, is because I started the BlueNote Fan Report as therapy for me, so I could reach out and feel connected to people, like-minded people, people that found the same passion that I did. And it was therapy for me. I could not lose that. I could not lose this show not being therapy anymore. And if I didn't do something like this show was going to lose that therapeutic value for me. I hope you all can understand that. I had to keep that therapeutic value there. On Tuesday, I went to the hospital. It was a very humbling and embarrassing experience. I won't get into it. I will not get into it at all, but I will just say it was very humbling and very embarrassing. The doctors determined that I was not a threat to anyone, including myself, and felt that if I started getting some real sleep, that my brain would shut down and I might be able to process some things, including my emotions. Guys, a lot of you don't know me that much. I mean, you know me from here, but you don't personally know. I have an immense amount of anger and temper that pops up at a snap. And talking to my therapist today, it's all I know. It's all I've known in my life. I've known nothing but that anger. And I don't know how to, I've never learned how to control it. I've never learned how to work with it. I've never learned how to do the things that I need to do for it to be a healthy anger. And the one thing that I've dealt with a lot in the last week is my anger's come out. Well, because my anger's come out, everybody's backed away from me. And them backing away from me has made me feel like my feelings, my thoughts, the things that I needed to say weren't important and didn't need to be heard. And that added to everything that was going on with me, and it added to my anger, it added to my hate, it added to my hurt. It really did. Ryan, I'm not gonna, that is for me and me alone. That is for me and me alone. What happened? The hospital sent me home with sleep meds. I'm on them. I've had the VA call me for a couple of days. I have had people work with me, talk with me and do that. I'm seeing one of my therapists twice a week right now for a little while. Hopefully I'll start seeing the new one soon. My psychiatrist has reached out to me. I did what I felt I needed to do. And I had to protect myself, and I had to protect those around me. I apologize to each and every one of you. I really do. I apologize to you for maybe triggering you or putting you through some of this, but I also want to say thank you to all of you. When I put that post about me checking in the hospital, the amount of support I got was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I never would have expected it. In fact, I didn't expect it. I expected nobody to respond. Right? One last thing that I want to say. I know a lot of you have tried to tell me to get over it and just move on, but I need to say something about that. You don't just get over it, and you don't just move on. If you just get over it or just move on, you don't deal with it. And me, Guy, needs to deal with it. Something that gets said a lot is, I don't care what other people think of me. I'm sorry, but there's not one person on this earth, not one, that's a true statement for. We all care how some person feels about us. Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You care about how your spouse feels about you, how your children feel about you, how your parents, your siblings. There is somebody in this world that you care about how they think about you. Well, for me, that circle is huge. It's not tiny like some people. It's huge. It's extremely huge. And that's something I'll have to work with and deal with. But you need to understand that yes, I care about how people think about me. The thing that happened with the Yorks, that tore me up. Ashley can tell you that. We have talked about it offline. That tore me apart. The things that they're saying about me. The things that some other person is saying about me tore me apart. And it all added to where I got. Right? I'm not going to go much more into that. I'm not, like I said, I was going to give you 15 minutes. You can always go back and watch this show. It's on YouTube, BlueNote Fan Report. It's on my Facebook page. I haven't shared it in any of the groups because I wanted it to be just for people who really wanted to watch and see what I had to say. And you know, if you want to go share it now for the next couple of minutes, you can, because in about 2 minutes or so, the real BlueNote Fan Report will be here. So stand by as we get ready to talk some St. Louis Blues hockey as they take on the New York Islanders and the Fishermen. Stand by.
Who are you, Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go, Blues! Let's go, Blues! Let's go, Blues!
Let's go, Blues!
Let's go, Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I am joined by the ever lovely, the ever vibrant, the ever smiling Ashley Slapshot Jones. How are you doing today, Ashley?
I'm good. I still don't have a headset, so if I get too bad, I might have to leave.
You're fine. You're fine. Thank you for showing up today. I hope that I didn't bore you with that little 15-minute thing.
No, you needed to, but I wanted to point out that Robert Morton is absolutely correct. Even in your little spiel, you are the real BlueNote Fan Report.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Chris Shockley wants to point out that you're still ugly, but he's one to talk.
Well, we all knew that, right? We all knew that already. You know, some people, I've been warned, don't do this. Don't go online and talk. You know, this is my therapy, Ash.
Mm-hmm.
This show has been my therapy for a very long time. Long before I met you.
Mm-hmm.
Long before I met some other, I have met people, there are people that I consider my friends that I've met maybe once or twice or never met that are from this show. And for example, John Hefner, Roland Spinks, Michael Dante, Lance the Scott, you, and I'm forgetting so many others. Shockey, right? There's so many out there that want to that I've met, that I've connected because of what I've done with this show.
Mm-hmm.
This is what made me feel good about myself. And I needed to get back to that. And I wasn't going to get back to that unless I addressed everything that I was feeling, because doing the show, those feelings were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those feelings were coming up. And the more they came up, the harder it was for me to do this show. Yes, she is. She told me that. And you know what? Look at this. Look at this, guys.
Hair is down.
No ponytail, right? We got to beat the Islanders tonight. All right. We absolutely have to beat the Islanders tonight. You know what? I don't even know if I pulled up the report on them yet or not. I've been, not sure how I was going to do today, but I knew I had to do
I
it.
was in the chat, man. I know that you didn't want me to join you early, but
yeah.
I was there because I knew you could see me and that I'm here to support you.
Yeah, I know. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough time. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Look at my face. I mean, I think you can tell. I've lost 35 pounds. Right? You remember when you saw me in St. Louis last year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You've lost weight, yes. You are definitely losing weight, and
I'm not. This is normal. I'm not holding it in.
Yeah,
right?
You need to eat.
Right.
But depression kind of makes that hard to do. I get it.
Right. No, I'm showing you because back there I had a little bit of a punch.
Yeah.
Right. Bob Morton can tell you because he met me. Right. I have lost these shorts that I'm wearing here. These cam shorts. I have to put a belt on because they will fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, I can shake my hips and they'll go right to the ground. I bought them when I met you and they were tight.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I bought them for that trip because I went swimming somewhere. I think I was in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that is there. I have to go look at one of the. Not sure which one that is there. Like I said, I didn't share this out with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
You can share it out now. I wasn't going to share out the first part of it. I didn't think it needed to be shared out. Right. I needed to do what was best for me, Ash.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope people can understand that. What am I missing? Because I'm trying to pull up the show on another one so I can see whose comment that was.
What you're missing, guy from Shackled Text. So I guess you need a mustache.
Say again.
Shackled Text said mustache is what you're missing, guy.
No, it's there. I got my goatee still.
And then Bob Morton says, "Yeah, I met you. You weren't pretty then, and you aren't now." LOL. You son of
Oh, I know. Shaki, you saw me then. You saw me in last year, so you know what I look like, right? I wish I could find that picture of me. I know it's somewhere where I got my jersey, in the hockey gear, but you could tell how thick I was. Oh no, I'm not doing the only mustache again. Oh, so, whoever, it's fine, man. Wow. Well, a lot of people dropped off. I guess I scared them away. That's fine. Wendy's asking to come on. I'm going to tell him not today, if you don't mind.
Whatever you want to do, I'm fully supporting. Yeah. Today's a rough day.
Oh, I didn't send Lance a link. Can you send Lance a link?
Let's see if it'll let me.
It won't let you invite somebody? Should.
No, it's this computer.
If not, I'll do it.
It won't let me log on to Facebook for some reason.
Okay, no problem.
Microphone from the computer.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I can do it. I'll find it. No, I'm okay with that. Let's see here. There we go. So, what are your expectations for tonight? What do you think's going to happen, or what do you think? What are you hoping to see?
I'm hoping to see some cohesion tonight. I don't want to see stupid plays where they pass it instead of shooting it, or, trying to be too fancy through the neutral zone. We've got to get back to basics on hockey. We obviously can't be too fancy right now. We need to shoot the puck or we're never going to get it in the net. Yeah, goals. Lots of goals.
Alex asked how we feel about the line changes. Well, I'm real happy about the Spetsnaz line. I think that's way overdue. I'm not as happy about the Akari coming up. I would have rather seen Thomas go there and Akari stay with Kyrou and Chin. Or no, Akari with Kyrou and Neighbors. That third line concerns me. It really, really does. Yes, I did my talk. Rowan, you're more welcome to go watch it. If you want to go watch it, you can. Right? I mean, that was for everybody. Alex says he's happy for Akari. Yeah, but Akari's not. He's not a front line. He's never played on a top line. He's never been a top line guy. He's been a bottom six guy. So now you're going to give him all of that. It's like putting Pat Maroon on the top line.
Just because they're penciling him in there doesn't mean he's going to stay there all game. I think it's a message. By putting Akari up there, they're sending a message to the people that want to be on the top line that aren't performing.
Yeah, okay, I get that. And that's a good point. Why not put Brown up there? I don't know.
I think Brown would play well up there too.
Who?
Barbashev?
Yeah, I think Barbashev might. Oh, you got an exactly, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, Ashley, you have exactly disease. You know that one, huh?
Yeah.
You got to tell that to your kids one of these days.
Never mind. You know what? Read between the lines. Sorry, that was Randy.
Akari will take 2 shifts on that line, and then he'll be right back down. And that's unless he gets lucky and scores on the first shift. I don't think that's going to happen. I think. Oh man, I'm not pushing any buttons. What's that? Frick? I think he means Frick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I don't think Frick's that guy. Torp on the third line. I like Torp. I really do. I thought. Well, here's my problem. I know they had a come to Jesus meeting, and Berube went off on everybody, and Armstrong went off on everybody, and all of that. Berube did something that I'm not happy with, but I got to be careful because I don't know what was said. But he took Tereshchenko and Bushnavid aside and had an extended long talk with them, according to one of the reporters. They have been the 2 best players we've had out there.
I don't necessarily think that an extended long talk to them meant that he was ripping them a new butthole. I think it means that maybe he was saying, okay, you guys need to keep doing this, or maybe giving ideas from them on how to motivate the team.
I'm hoping so, but that's normally not Berube.
Well, normally Berube doesn't have a 5-game losing streak on a team that he coaches either. So
True. We're
kind of going to take normally and throw that out the door.
Right. But you see my point of view.
I see that you're going to the negative point right now. Yes.
Well, no, I mean, because that usually when you have something like that, that's usually what that means. Right. Mm-hmm. And for me, I mean, I have not seen Tereshchenko do the things that everybody says he does. He hasn't been a lazy player. He's been up on plays. He hasn't lost a lot of pucks. Some of his passing's off, but everybody's passing's off.
I think that the biggest player that is like blindingly, obviously not playing well is Kyrou. I mean, all of those turnovers.
Oh, I got another one.
In 7 or 8 games, he's had more turnovers this season than he had all of last season.
I got another one. I got another one that's blatant.
Who?
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly has his moments where he's showing that he's still O'Reilly, though. Kyrou, he has not had anything. Like, his 2 goals have been lucky goals.
Yeah, but he hasn't been put on he's moved lines left, right, and center. He has nowhere to get comfortable. Play this line, play that line, do this, do that. The kid, Lance says it all the time. Kairu's confused. Kairu's absolutely confused.
Mm-hmm.
And that's showing. We have guys on this team that should have a lot more goals and a lot more points than they do. Right? And that, you know, Wendy, come on, now Wendy's going to go troll me today. Wendy's probably the only person I think could get away with that. You know, Tammy, I don't know about that. To me, if you take one player off of a team and that team falls apart, they were never a team. Right? That's the thing that's got to be.
In a way, because O'Reilly had chemistry with Perron. He hasn't made the chemistry with anyone else yet. So yes, O'Reilly misses Perron is an accurate statement because he doesn't have the experience with anyone else like he did with Perron.
Well, Mary says, Mary, see, here's the thing. This was a lot of people. Everyone thinks that contract that he got, he's getting paid that now. He's not. That contract doesn't kick in until next year. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's not getting that money yet. He's getting his regular money. So remember that.
But that money is coming, so he better continue to prove that he earned that contract that starts next year.
Okay, now that statement I can get with, but all the ones who say, what are we paying him for? Well, he's doing what we're paying him for. He hasn't gotten that money yet. Right? That's the thing. Morton says O'Reilly's on his crap list. I kind of with you on that. Chucky says too many passes on that top line. Yeah, that has been. They have been trying to make way too many passes, and they're not getting in the dirty areas. Right? For me, there are two things that this team did in the first 3 games they haven't done in the last 5. Right? In the first 3 games, they got that puck through the neutral zone. They were crisp, they were moving, and they got the puck into and deep in the offensive zone. And then the second thing they did was they got on the cycle. Mm-hmm. This team, and this is the problem with Berube's system, is that his system actually relies a lot more on offense than it does defense. Right? The forecheck is an offensive move, not a defensive move. You get on the forecheck so you can get the puck and get it out to the point to start the cycle. When you start the cycle, you keep the other team on the ice longer and wear them out. You allow yourself to make passes, you allow yourself to stay in the offensive zone, and you allow yourself to find the best shots. That is offensive. When you keep the puck in the offensive zone that long, you prevent the other team from getting in your zone and taking shots. When this team tries to get defensive, they end up spending way too much time in their zone. They allow the other team to get on the cycle, and they allow the other team to take way too many shots. This team needs to get back on its offense. Worry about offense first, and the defense will come. Yeah, that's exactly what I say. And I still mean it. I absolutely mean it. Right? Because more or less they're illegal. Most of those hip checks would be considered illegal nowadays. If you did a Bobby Plager hip check and someone went head over heels and landed on their head, you would get suspended or fined. Mm-hmm. You would get suspended. I guarantee it. Right? Say again?
Sadly, yes.
Yeah. So it's not that they're not playing physical. They're playing physical, but they're playing too physical in my eyes. I want to see this team because this is an offensive league now. It's not a defensive league. The Colorado Avalanche were not one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think they were in the top 10. I think they were just a hair ahead of us. But they weren't like number 2 or 3. They were an offensive team. And they only scored one more goal than us the whole year last year. That's it.
That's what I was trying to say, Bob. Oh.
I personally disagree with Bennington going tonight instead of. I don't because you know
None
why?
of those goals were against Bennington. They were all our team in front of him not doing their job. It wasn't the defense. It was.
I put 1 on him.
I still don't think that matters. I still don't see that as something that we put that huge loss against Bennington and pull him and let Grice start.
Yeah. No, I don't agree either. Because, he wasn't out of position. We allowed that damn pass. What, 4 times?
Mm-hmm.
And they scored on 3 of them? Right?
But Shockey, it's not just on defense. It's offense watching the puck too. Nobody is being aggressive.
Yeah.
Or at least not properly aggressive, I guess I should say.
You've got the 80% of the goals that happen actually start in the neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What you do in the neutral zone sets up what you do in the offensive zone. If you can get through the neutral zone clean, and they're showing where the Kings got through clean, the guys aren't pushing them off the puck, right? They're showing it right now. I'm watching Jamie. I'm not hearing it, but he's showing how they come in and they're not being pushed. They're not being stomped, right? They're not being hit. They're allowing them in, right? They're allowing everything to go clean, right? I'm watching this play right now. That's where my head's kind of turned.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. Jeff says, Mary, I bet that Armstrong Creek was probably, I'm not sure what he's saying.
I don't know if he meant cloud watching or crowd watching.
Yeah, maybe. I agree. Second goal was watching the puck and someone got behind. The whole team has to play defense. The whole team has to play offense. This is hockey, different than any other sport. Somewhat, yeah. It's not like scared to draw a penalty. They got to draw penalties. Oh, okay. Well, Jeff had to come out of this. I knew this was coming sooner or later. I would like to see some enthusiasm tonight. I think we have had the wind knocked out, and we need to score first and get that back. When we do, we play more as a team and stop making mistakes. We haven't come from behind this year yet. We have not come from behind one game yet. Right? First time we were behind was the game we lost.
Are you ready to be shocked? On air, I'm going to say this. I miss Scandella.
I need to effing record that.
I miss Scandella.
I got you, bud. I'm with you. Got about 10 minutes left. So this 10 minutes is your 10 minutes. Tell us what you expect tonight. Who's your pick to click? Who's your player on the Blues that's going to have a great game tonight? You start telling us. You start telling us, and as you start talking, we'll start talking about it. Who is your player that's going to have a great game tonight? And who's your player that you're worried about tonight? Jeff Horseman, you can say Parayko, okay?
We already know.
Yep, we already know. There you go. 55-6 are terrible. Kairu, I said it. There you go. Tank takes over the whole damn team tonight. I could see that. Alex Kennedy, Torp and Akari. I could see that.
I really think that Buchnevich is going to have an excellent game, though.
I think that to me it's got to be the Spetsnaz line, because I think that they did it so much. I mean, when they got put together last season, and I remember being told that line would never work, and it clicked instantly. Yeah, Aaron, I don't know which one you're watching on, bud. Sometimes it says that you gotta, if you go up in the description and kind of open it up a little more so you see everything. It says click here to so StreamYard can see your name. That's the only thing I think. I don't know why I can't see you this time. Sometimes I can, sometimes I don't know, bud. Thanks about the show.
Barubi, who's really
okay, who's really in charge? Yeah. The kids need to show they got the message. I'm with that. I'm with all of you on this, right? I really am. Hey, let me first tell you a real big shout out to Marianne Holmes, Matt Park, Cammie Pemberton, Michael Edwards, Lance DeScott, Derek Harpole, Jason Nichols, Joe Butler, and Sammy Helms. You guys for putting those thumbs in the air on Facebook. We really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube and you do it too, I don't see your name, but I greatly appreciate it 100%. Matt Lowe, I didn't see him here. I don't know if Butch is 100% to be honest, and that's possible.
I'm with you. I think that they might have tried to rush him back because obviously without him and Saad, we were showing some holes.
Most points, Russians are the top line. Yeah, it'll be the Russian. Huh?
That's Thomas Cairo Neighbors line, not top line.
Okay. TKN. That's what he said? Oh,
yeah,
wow. TKN. Okay. I'm still scared of that line. I really am.
I think that's going to be a really fast line.
Yeah, but they're still young. I mean, really, can you call anybody on that line a seasoned veteran?
Thomas? I think he's seasoned enough.
He's a veteran. I wouldn't call him a seasoned veteran.
I think he's pretty seasoned. I'm not worried about Thomas. Cairo's been a turnover machine, so I'm a little concerned about him, and Neighbors hasn't proved himself. But I think that Neighbors has been playing better than Cairo has. So
Blackhawks having their hockey fights canceled. We always seem to do ours at the end. Now, we're doing ours on December 1st. Right? Hockey is speed, not gorillas anymore. Jeff, you're absolutely right. The good is they will face slower checking lines. Yeah, that's possibly true. Define seasoned. For me, a seasoned vet is one that's not going to make rookie or young mistakes. And sometimes I see Thomas making some of those rookie and young mistakes. The holding onto the puck too long. That's a rookie mistake. Right? You know, I've said this line before from, Datsuk. Pavel Datsuk was on a line with Brett Hull. In fact, Detroit got Brett Hull for the reason of teaching Datsuk. That's what he was there, to mentor Datsuk. Datsuk held on to a puck, took a shot that was blocked. When they went to the bench, Hull lit into Datsuk and said, "Pass me the puck." Datsuk said, "You were covered." Hull's response was, "I've scored 400 goals covered. Pass me the damn puck." That's a seasoned veteran. One that knows that, okay, even though he's covered, even though Tereshchenko's covered, Tereshchenko still knows how to score that goal. That's what I'm talking about as a seasoned veteran. Tereshchenko can score goals covered. You got to give him the puck. We've seen him do it. Am I wrong? Cammie, I hope you're right, buddy. I hope you're right. Do you think I'm wrong, or do you think I'm right? I mean, I misunderstood how you said that.
I mean, I'm just kind of agreeing with you at this point because I disagree, because I don't think Thomas makes as many mistakes as you do. But
does he hold on to the puck too long?
No, I think that he passes too much, but he does not hold on to the puck too long.
Got it. If Tereshchenko's covered, it's still Tereshchenko can score that goal.
I think that Thomas needs to take the shot more. That's where I feel like Thomas might be making some rookie-ish mistakes. He's always looking for the pass.
Okay. But fair enough. It's just, I still feel like it doesn't feel like he's been here 5 years to me. Like this is his fifth season. Say again?
that's your opinion. That's the beauty of the show. We can have different opinions.
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone does that. Everyone goes to Gretzky did that. I mean, Gretzky might be the only one that didn't. Or the perfect pass. Yeah, you're right. I don't think so. I don't think so. I still think Tarasenko has played way, way above what Tarasenko to me has not had a bad game yet, in my eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got, we already know I got the Tarasenko crush.
And crush.
Okay, but have you seen him play a bad game this season?
No, I haven't.
So my man crush doesn't matter if I'm right.
I'm not disagreeing, but I think that you're just maybe extra high on him.
See, that's the thing. That's Thomas was 19 when he got here. He's 24, right? That's why I still have that issue with him. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but once he hits 27, you're going to be talking about how he's too old.
No, 30's the mark. 30's the mark. 30 is when you start. For centers, 30 is it, right? He's playing for the Blues and also for a new guy. Maybe, but I think he's playing great. He's what? Is that absent?
I think his absence, but I think he's obsessed, maybe is what he meant, that you're obsessed.
Yeah. Hey.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
No, I mean, I've got, what have I got? At least 10 Tarasenko jerseys? All right. I have 150. I was supposed to get a 90. I never got it. Yeah, you were right. Obsessed.
See, I know my peoples.
Yep. And Michael, you're right, bud. You're absolutely right. I think it will be too. I honestly do. Right? That number will someday be retired. Right? There's no doubt in my mind with that. No doubt in my mind. Guess what, Aaron?
We can, Aaron.
Yep. There you go, buddy. I think it might. And it might get the power play back up and the penalty kill back. I mean, the penalty kill dropped really fast. But they're still they're a good penalty kill. They really are. I think they're just a little discombobulated. The last game, something happened in that last game. Say again?
That's why my biggest thing I said was cohesion. I want to see cohesion. Play together. That
last game, something happened in the second, and they just all quit. Mm-hmm. Something happened, and whatever it was in the locker room or where, something happened, and they just all gave up. They all gave up. I don't know what it was, where it came from, but that's what happened. They all gave up. And hopefully, they addressed it the right way. That it got to, because this is where teams. You look back at 19, they've had this same issue. They addressed it. They didn't address this lackadaisical play one time or two times or three times. They addressed it at least 4 times before Yo got fired. Mm-hmm. And then I know they addressed it at least one more time after Berube came in. Right? Kiss, guys. Keep it simple. Danny Trevor, Jeff Horseman, thank you, guys. We really do appreciate it, Do you guys, and for everybody that knows, remember, the show stays running. Me and Ashley drop out. I play a little music. We watch the game. The chat room is still here. You can come on the chat room, put what you want, and then we know you drive the intermissions by us knowing what you want to talk about. Mm-hmm. I put some things, I try and keep the chat going. I might see some things that I put in there. So, and I'll put them up on anything that I see gets put in there. Will go up on the screen for a couple of moments, for a minute or so, because I know that people cross platforms can't see it. There are 2 platforms on Facebook, or 3 platforms on Facebook that have this. I know 2 of them get watched, right? Right now, this is being watched on YouTube, on the Hawaii Blues Fan Clan and on my page. There's also the BlueNote Fan Report, which is the show's page, but nobody's watching it on that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bortz needs to punch Kairu. And everybody made so much of a big deal out of that. I think everyone thinks that that's what changed, and that thing happened in December before Yo got fired.
I think that's kind of what showed that the Yo firing might need to happen, though. I think it started something. I don't think it's as big as the deal as everyone's making it, but I also don't think it was totally nothing.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a catalyst, right? It was a straw. I'll give it that it was a straw,
Mm-hmm.
right? I give it that it was a straw. Now, like what I just went through.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I went through was straws.
Yeah.
Right? They were straws. Nothing was a brick. I didn't get hit. Nothing was a huge brick. Yo's in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's either in Vancouver or Seattle. He's in one of those two. I'm pretty sure it's Vancouver.
Yeah.
Right? But there were a whole bunch of straws that got dropped. And that might have been one of the straws. Okay, so what's your good thing, Rob said? What's your guess for the game, Ashley?
I'm going with this being a total awakening, and I'm going to say it's a 5-1 win.
I see it being a lot closer. I see a 3-2 victory for the Blues, right? I know Bennington has these great games in him. We know Bennington can shut a team out. The guy said this, any night that he's in the net, he can pull a shutout.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely believe that. Okay? I absolutely believe that. Darkness says 3-1. Alex Kennedy says 5-1. Pissed off now, I hope so. Oh, 6-0. There you go.
Yeah,
6-0.
Michael, I'm hoping you're right.
Right? Edwards is going with the Blues. We're guys, I'm here for you as much as you're here for me. I hope you know that. Oh, wow. 6-0 Islanders. Oh, wow. Michael, I hope that's some reverse psychology there, bud. That's like a Jeff Horseman pick. I could see Jeff Horseman picking that. I don't see Michael picking that. Right? Wow. Bud.
No, Michael picked Blues. I don't know.
It says Islanders here.
That just says Facebook user. Michael Edwards said Blues.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is. Okay. Hey, now. This game seems like it's going to decide what the Blues are going to do moving forward. Might be in the... No, we're not in the Bedard sweepstakes. Not even close. Not even close.
I hope not.
Oh, we have a first round. The only pick we don't have this year is a second round pick. We have as of now, we have our first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't see us trading it. Right? I really don't, honestly. I want to see good special teams tonight. If anything, I want to see special teams get out there. Because if special teams get out and does what they're supposed to, the rest of the game kind of goes in that way.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can figure out who this Facebook user was.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, it was Michael Edwards.
Oh, okay.
I think it was. It kind of disappeared on me.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, because we can see Michael's name, right?
Yeah, we can see Michael.
Okay. Oh,
It's
Erickson
not-
Krieger.
Okay.
Erickson Krieger.
But I'm
That's
not.
who it was. Aaron Coulter thinks it'll be by 1-1. Who's jumping who now? We couldn't see your name, Erickson, so that's why they're mad at you and your 6-0 or 5-0 Islanders pick.
He's picking
Right?
it
They're
from
letting you know
reverse
they're not happy with
psychology,
that.
You know?
Yeah, some reverse psychology there. I used to do that for a while because I would pick, and every time I pick the Blues and win, they lose, and every time I pick them to win, pick the other team to win, they'd win. So Oh, it's Danny Johnson. Okay. No, Danny, we weren't going after you. It was Erickson Krieger, bud. It was Erickson Krieger. Ash, I just want to say thank you. Right? I mean, I know it's already flipped. Look up above Ashley's head. Ashley, look up. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's already flipped. It's already flipped. I just want to say thank you. Right? This has been a very trying time, and I know that this can't be easy on you. Right? I know what you have going on, and I know what I'm going through can't be easy on it, and I really do. I apologize for the drama I'm bringing to everyone. I mean that. I apologize. But in order for me to quote unquote get over it or to just move on, I need to face it head on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think I'm doing.
I think that you are underestimating the fact that every relationship that you are going to have in life will have drama that it brings to your life. You have to pick the people that are worth it. You are like a brother to me. Any drama,
you know, it's not just it's not just personal relationships, okay? It's professional relationships. What happened with the business? Mm-hmm. That had a lot to do with this.
Yep.
That's been weighing on me heavily. Mm-hmm. Right? What happened in a Facebook group is weighing heavily on me. Some of the things that I've been called, some of the names that I've heard of me, some of the stuff that I've heard people say about me. That is really that all was.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? That was all, and I'm letting people know. Some people, their circle of who they care what they think about is very, very small. Okay? Mm-hmm. You know, your wife, your kids, your parents, your siblings, it's very, very small. My circle is much, much larger. Right? That's my circle is so much larger. And that's a me thing, and I get that. But that's who I am. Mm-hmm. It's what makes me me. And that's all I can say. So Sorkin versus Bennington. This should be a good one. Sorkin's got a 204 goals against average to Bennington's 328, and that's accelerated. He's got a 935 to Bennington's 882. Again, those are inflated numbers, right? Bennington, that one bad game, and they're gonna come back to earth.
Oh yeah,
right? They're gonna definitely come back to. Okay, game is on. See you at the intermission, guys. Love ya. Aloha and welcome to the first intermission report. This is Guy the Wild Blues fan, and this is the BlueNote Fan Report. Wow, that was a different team than we saw the last game. I saw some great comments in here. Let's see if I can find some of them. I kind of missed some stuff trying to handle some things. Cycle, baby. Oh, did they get a cycle? And that was a great shift early in the game. Pushing for great pressure. It's coming. Shoot the puck. A lot of people were yelling, there was no open lane, right? There was no open lane. And I saw that. So I wasn't as unhappy with that moment. Horseman, great momentum. Yes. The Russians are over the kids. I'll pat myself on the back. What has Bortz done to his face? I don't know. I wasn't paying that close of attention to it. That goal by Vladdy was perfect, man. That puck could not have come off of the boards any better. It was just right there. Thank you, Bennington, for keeping the lead going into the second. Yeah, he's played great tonight. Love the long hair, guy. Let the lettuce flow. By the way, if anybody has the Bally's app and doesn't mind sharing, could you reach out to Ashley, because she doesn't have her Bally's app right now and she can't watch the game. So if somebody wants to hook her up, please reach out to Ashley. I would love it if you could. If you can't, you can't. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But if you could hook Ashley up, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. No, it looks like he was fine, man. It looks like Barbashev was fine. He went down for a little bit. He didn't even miss a shift. Hey, Lance, man, how are you, my friend?
Fine, how are you?
I am doing good, man. I am doing good. I'm doing better than I was. Let's put it that way.
Good.
All right. Hopefully you didn't you were okay with the first 15 minutes of my show today, and you didn't have any negative from it, but I really appreciate taking time and doing that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, no, how could I have a problem with it? I don't have a problem with it.
Well, you're a friend, so you're welcome to. That's why. Ashley, you look all mad and upset. What's going on, Ash?
I have technical difficulties.
I
asked if somebody out there was willing to give them your give you their access. So maybe somebody will. I don't know.
It's got nothing to do with that. She's upset after seeing all of the nutty, crazy posts on Facebook and Twitter about how Noel Acciari is going to make the top line so much better and how he's just going to change the game, and he may end up on the top line for good. We just don't know.
No, Lance, I kind of touched on this in the pregame. I feel like it's just a message. He's not going to stay up there. It's to show the other players that they're not performing.
No, I understand that, but most Blues fans don't, because what I've seen online is just nuts. Oh, he's got the edge. He can make O'Reilly better. I'm sorry. If you've got a fourth line player that you think needs to be brought up to the top line to make one of your top centers better, that top center doesn't need to be there. Because Ryan O'Reilly has played in this game long enough to where he needs the best, most talented people around him. And I'm sorry, Acciari is a fringe fourth line player. That's all he's been. That's all he'll ever be. And I'm sorry. That's one reason why I didn't get on before the game, because I know Guy wanted to go over his stuff, and I didn't want to bring anybody down or anything with my negativism. But it wears on me when fans don't see why it's done. There were a few fans that said he's doing it to try to motivate people, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. But it just gets me time and time again, like when the Blues bring a guy up from the AHL that's 31 years old, and he's played mainly in the AHL, but let's say he's played 150 games in the NHL, and he's going to make such a huge difference. No, he's 31 years old, and there's a reason why he's an AHL player and not an NHL player.
Well,
The Blues
Lance,
the Blues played great in the first period. They really did. But Achari had nothing to do with that.
Oh, I know. That was the Russian line. That was my Spetsnaz.
If you want to change things up, as soon as I saw what they were doing, I thought put the Spetsnaz line back together. If you want to change things up, do that. And that was before I saw the lineup changes.
Jason says we picked Tank Ash. No, but Lance, I want to say this too. I understand what you're saying, and you got to look. Unfortunately, when it comes to Blues fans, they're not like Cardinals fans, right? The Cardinals have a very, very big, diehard, knowledgeable fan base. The Blues have a very small, diehard, knowledgeable fan base. We have a lot of newer fans. We have a lot of bandwagon fans. We have a lot of fair weather fans. And you know what? I let them be fair weather fans. You know why I let them be fair weather fans? Because they don't have the wherewithal to watch a show like this, to listen and hear what's being said. And you know what? Even if you watched the Jamie Rivers podcast or the Let's Go Blues Radio or there's like 2 other shows out there called the Blue Notes, right? No, everybody took my name. That's fine. But at least listen to what they have to say, because a lot of the stuff that you guys are out there doesn't make any sense. And you become a better fan if you open your ears. They want to believe that, Lance. I say let them believe that. You know who the smart ones are? They're the 15 people that are watching the 3 of us right now. Those are the smart ones, because they know that we're going to tell you point blank what we see, good, bad, or indifferent. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to tell you that. That's what this show is. And not only that, they know that their opinion is going to be heard. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it's going to be heard. I guess that's another rant. That's 2 rants in one day.
No, my thing is this. I was always taught as a kid, and I've always had this thing about me. If there's something I like, learn about it. Learn all you can about it. So if you're in a discussion with somebody about it, you know what you're talking about. And maybe people today don't do that. And, I love new Blues fans for their passion. I just wish they would really look into the game, and they don't have to listen to me. They don't have to listen to you or Ashley, but look into the game, know the history, know what you're talking about before you come up with some crazy saying that some 31-year-old guy who's been mainly in the AHL and played 90 games is going to make a huge difference. I mean, it just gets me that people don't become more educated, because it's like in the 90s, I wanted to learn about computers. So I did everything I could to read about computers, how to build them, how to do this, how to do that, networking. And now I know a ton about it. And I can talk to network engineers and network admins, and I know what I'm talking about. Am I going to know as much as them? No. But I feel good enough to know that I can give an opinion, and they're going to go, that's right. But there's this instance. And I appreciate that. But I've always been the type that if you're going to learn something and you want to know it, go out there and do your best you can to learn all about it. And maybe people just don't do that anymore.
Yep. Hey, let's go over the stats here real quick, if you don't mind. Oops, a little bit too big. There we go. Okay. Let's make sure I got the right game. Oops, that's the wrong game. I get the right game, dummy. I was about to go over the Kings stats. I don't think we want that, right?
Nope. We already lived it. We don't need to live it again.
Yeah, we lived it once. Okay. Here we go. Oops, that's the wrong one. Man, I'm just not doing shit right today. There we go. Okay. The Islanders had 13 shots. It's a little high. Oh, it's not my phone. Okay. They had 5 blocked. They missed the net 4 times. They had 8 hits, 4 giveaways, 5 takeaways. They blocked 5, and they lost the faceoff battle 6-9 for a 40% to 60%. The Blues were able to get 10 shots off. had 5 that were blocked. They had 6 missed the net. That's 21 attempts to 20 attempts. Blues had 9 hits, had 2 giveaways, and 4 takeaways. I like seeing where that number is. We also know that they blocked 5 shots. There was only 1 goal scored, and it was a beauty by Vladimir Tarasenko off I think it was Krug that passed it, right? That passed it to right behind the boards. That came right out. I mean, just a perfect rebound. Right on his tape there.
Krug shot it, Barbashev tipped it, and then it come around to Tarasenko.
Okay.
But I don't think Krug intended for Barbashev to touch it.
Say again?
Krug did not intend for Barbashev to touch that puck.
Touch it? Yeah, but whatever it was dead on, man. It was perfect.
Yep.
Falcon Krug got the assist. I thought so. Right? It was Krug that fired it. Barbashev didn't touch it. Right?
Well, watch it again, and it clearly goes off of Barbashev.
Maybe they'll change it, but right now that's what I saw. I thought it was Krug that fired a straight shot back that just because I think if it was tipped, it wouldn't have come off the boards that cleanly, would it?
Yeah, if he tips it, he didn't. It went off of himself, and then it went behind the goal.
Okay, well I'll try and hopefully they'll show the play later, or I'll see if I can see it online. Where are we at? Are we doing okay on time? I'm not sure where we're at on time. I got a commercial.
I'm not either.
What do you guys got to say? Come on, guys. Where are we at? Smile, Lance.
I am smiling.
No, it was a bank pass by Falk behind the net. Okay. So Krug to Falk to Tarasenko. Right? That's what I thought. I kind of thought that it was a beautiful. I mean, it was just right there. Hey, thanks, John. And John, John is a shipmate of mine. I want you to go back and when you can, just watch the first 15 minutes of this. I think it's important. Right? He knows why. John, I've known John for, 35 years. Maybe even longer. I've known John since the Gulf War. Right? John's been around me for a really, really long time, and he knows, he's seen me at my best and he's seen me at my worst. Right? Since 91. Yep. Since 91. But we greatly appreciate you, bud. We greatly appreciate you. Let's see. Ozone possession time. The Blues had it in there for 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Islanders only had it for 108. Slot shots were 3-2 for the Blues. Power plays 0-1. Chances Blues had 8. They had 4, and I was right on the attempts for a change, 22-21. I don't know why they don't use the boards more. They're still lively. That's something that more teams, that's what teams use against us. You see a lot of teams use our boards against us because they are lively, right? I think the Kings did that a lot. The Kings were really firing into the boards. Right? And the reason he's blind, you bastard. Aaron says, gets more shots on goal than you. That says you have the better goalie. Okay, when an opponent gets more shots on you. We shouldn't have been allowing that many shots. And that's one of the things that the Blues have really got to cut down on. They were bad at it last year. They were in the middle of the pack to the back of the pack in allowing shots. And that was something that I was hoping that they were going to clean up this year. And they started to, but in this 5-game losing streak, it just went back. Now, this season, the second period has been absolutely horrible for us, right? In the second period, let's see if I can find the right. What am I looking for here? I'm trying to find. Here we go. No, damn. I'm just all messed up tonight. Thought I pulled it up. I'm trying to pull up the game notes to see where we're at. But I know we got to have a huge negative in the second, like -8, I'm guessing. Right? I mean, they need to do a lot to get around that. I'm wrong on that goal. Lance was 100% right. Oh, my goodness, Lance. There you go. Matt Lowe went and checked it for you.
Yeah, I watched the highlight 2 or 3 times, and I wasn't going to argue. I'm not going to do that. I figured they would fix it or they'd watch it. So
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm just going by what's on the paperwork, bud.
yeah, no, I figured I'd state my opinion, and we'll see where it goes. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right.
Okay, so let me see here. I want to take a look at the second period stats. Okay, second period, the Blues are a -6, while the Islanders are a +10. We've got to do a lot to change that tonight. We have to bring that number up, right? We absolutely have to. Oh, no, that's the third. I'm sorry. In the second, oh, God, in the third, we're in trouble. In the second, the Islanders are a +1. We are a -8. Boy, I called that dead on. That's what I said. I thought I thought we were -8?
Yeah, and it seems worse than that.
Yeah, we're -8. We're -6 in the third. They're +10 in the third. We have got to do something. Kari gets 20 goals if he stays on the top line. Nah, somebody's baiting you, bud. So Tank scored. It's just the assister ended up going Falk
Off of Barbashev.
right? The assists are probably going to change.
Yeah, the Krug off of Barbashev to Tarasenko.
So it was, well, right now, don't they? I think they have Falk listed as the.
They have Falk in there, but I have no idea why.
Primary assist, though. I thought they had Falk as the primary assist.
I have no idea why, because I don't even see him involved in that play. He may have got the puck first over to Krug, but it went off of Barbashev, and if it touched Barbashev, he should get an assist.
Now my page isn't working. Try this again. No. So for some reason that the roster report's not working, so they might be doing something on it. Game summary's not working. Let me see if another one will work. Check the Red Wing. Well, that one worked. Okay. So for some reason the Blues one's not working, so they may be doing something with it. Yeah, I'm not getting it to come up. Okay, guys, we're almost up. So remember, keep chatting in here. You're more than welcome. Keep watching the show. Keep letting us know. And a big thank you to John Penner and Dave Talent, Danny Tower, Jess Horseman, Marianne Holmes, Matt Park, Michael Edwards, Tammy Pemberton, and so many more. Joe Butler, Tammy Helms, Jason Nichols, Darius Harpo, Lance, to Scott, too, Michael Edwards, Tammy Pemberton, Matt Park, and Marianne Holmes for putting them thumbs up in the air. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, see you guys all at the second intermission. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, minus 12 in the second period, minus 12. And you're in the third period, the Islanders are plus 10. This was just bad. Again, they can't translate what happens in the first to the second. And I thought about something. Yeah, that was. I will talk about this. I want to get Lance in here. I don't know if Ashley's going to join us, but good. Here's Lance now. Lance, I want to talk about this. I know the refs aren't the reason that the Blues are losing this one, but how do you call that goaltender interference when in the playoffs, that's the same effing thing that Kadri did, and you said, no, that was fine. He was going for a loose puck. He has every right to do that. It was the other player that caused it. He was trying to get his stick. The goalie's laying on his damn stick. How is that goaltender interference? I don't get it at all.
Well, if the same thing happened tomorrow night, they probably would say that it wasn't goaltender interference. They're not consistent with anything. They will tell you that they are, but the proof is in the pudding, and they continue to make a call and call it goaltender interference one night. And the next night, the exact same play could happen with two different teams, almost exactly, and they'll call it a good goal. I don't understand why the NHL is not doing more about this than they are. And, I've seen Bettman ask about that in press conferences, and he says that the referees are great. They have the best ones in the world. Well, if you've got the best ones in the world, man, there must be some really sucky ones around the rest of the world.
Yeah, no shit. The other thing that I want to comment. So I want to cover two things. First, we'll cover the fun one.
All right.
On Monday night, and unfortunately, I didn't get to talk about this. Did you see the prank that they pulled on Joey Vitale?
No, I did not see that.
Nope. So I got to talk about this a little bit. So earlier in during the preseason, there was Joey Vitale supposedly is afraid of grasshoppers. There was a grasshopper on the plane. He got all freaked out about it. They talked about it. So what they did, Chris Kerber did on Halloween night, is they got a remote control grasshopper, and they put it behind the computer, and while he was on air, had it jump out, and he dropped an F-bomb. I think they got it, but he dropped an F-bomb, and he freaked out and ran off. I mean, Kerber couldn't call the game. He was laughing so much. That was, I mean, that was absolutely, I mean, it was, especially as bad as that game was going, it was the perfect thing for that night, right?
Yeah.
You might want to go back and look at it. I know it's on. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it on the Blues pages. It was really fun. Somebody put it on the Hawaii Blues Fan Clan.
All right,
it's in the clan.
I'll look for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about was something about. It took me a while to catch this. It was something that was said on Monday, and I guess my head wasn't in there. But they played something tonight. When Armstrong was going, the coach is going nowhere. He coached in the AHL. He coached this. He's lost that locker room. He's lost that locker room.
Here's my opinion. If you're Doug Armstrong and you think it's just the players, okay, if that's what you honestly think, if there's no question in your mind and you don't think there's a question in the players' minds, when you go to that meeting, you don't mention the coach. You don't talk about his status. You don't talk about to the players, hey, Berube's doing the best he can with you guys, whatever. You keep him out of it. When he said something like that, the first thing that came to my mind is like you. Somebody or some players in that locker room are totally lost and have no confidence in Craig Berube. Because otherwise, why do you bring it up? Because there's no reason to bring it up if you think it's just the players.
Yeah, no, I'm with you here. I'm with you. I think that, you know what that was to me, and I'm going to say this. I don't know if I'm right, but it feels like it. That was the dreaded vote of confidence.
Well, here's my thing. You know what? there's a lot of players, there's a lot of coaches that coach in the AHL and coach young kids. There's a lot of coaches who did that, and now they're coaching veterans in the NHL. That statement means squat. I mean, to me, that's just a stupid statement. Well, he's coached young players in the AHL, and now he's coaching veterans, so he must be good.
Yeah.
He wasn't good until
it's plain and simple. I mean, I hate walking over you, bud, but it's plain and simple. He's lost that locker room.
Yeah. You're spot on, Robert.
Huh?
Robert's spot on.
Yeah. John saying hey to Matt. Blues, Penguins, both 6-game losing streak. Trade captains and not Tarasenko's been the one guy that's been playing right. Tarasenko's been your number one player.
Well, did you see my post?
No.
The Blues have had minutes in this game where they have played much harder. They've looked like a better team.
Yeah.
But they're not playing smart.
Yeah.
There's a difference between playing all out and playing smart. You've got to play smart. You can't just go out there and run around like a chicken with your head cut off. You've got to play smart within your system. But you're right, Guy. The first thing I thought when he said that was, why did he bring that up about Berube? There's no reason to bring that up to the players.
Yeah. No, he didn't bring it up to the players. He brought it up to the media. Right?
Why do it?
Why do it? Yeah, that shouldn't have been brought up. Now, if the question got asked, right, and it's possible, because I don't know if the question got asked, that's a question you don't answer.
No.
And you don't qualify it. If they ask, if a reporter asks with, is Berube's job in jeopardy?
Well, you know what I'd have said? I would have
said no.
You know what I'd have said? No. And you're really going to answer that question this many games into the season?
Yeah.
Next question.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Dale? You're right. They're both free agents next season, and we've talked about this at length.
Mm-hmm.
Goaltenders, goal scorers score goals, and they always score goals. Two-way players break down. I would rather lose O'Reilly than Tarasenko because Tarasenko's going to score your goals no matter what. And he's been the guy for the last season and this season that has come out and ran that locker room. O'Reilly's lost that locker room, and Berube's lost that locker room.
O'Reilly doesn't look the same on the bench. He's not talking a lot. Yeah. He doesn't look the same on the ice. And I'm not saying he's this way. He either doesn't care or something else is going on. And I don't know if he knows, because according to what I've been told, they started contract negotiations with him right after Thomas and Kyrou. Now, how serious they got, I don't know. Maybe he sees the writing on the wall. Maybe he doesn't think he's going to be here. But something's different with him. He doesn't play like the same player.
Yeah, there is, and I don't know if he's injured or if he's got something going on mentally, physically, emotionally.
Something's wrong.
I've got shit going on emotionally and mentally. I couldn't do my show for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I'm trying to do a daily show, and I had to take 2 days off. Didn't say anything to anybody. Just took 2 days off. I don't think anybody. A lot of people didn't ask what, but figured out, enough figured out what was going on. But that's is what it is. It's 15. Well, I get that it's 15 mil, but the 7.5 that you're paying O'Reilly, to me, he's not earning right now. He's not worth 7.5. Tarasenko to me is still worth that 7.5, if not more. At age 31 for 40, I would sign Tarasenko at an 8. If the numbers would work, I would give him $1 million raise, 8.5 for 3 years. That takes him to age 33 and gives you some room for ages 34 and 35 or 36. Right? That's how I feel about it. I'm sorry. Goaltender score goals. Hull in his last year with Detroit was still scoring goals. Right? Hold on a second. You talk while I'm doing this.
All right. I'm just going to talk about O'Reilly a little bit more because
go ahead.
Something is
watch the comments and see if somebody says something that needs to.
All right. Hold on.
You know the deal.
Yep. Yeah, John's just basically saying that it's a good point. He says, remember post game when Berube said they got to play better, not we got to play better.
Yeah.
And I do agree with most coaches will say we, they'll put it on themselves too. Because Guy, I've said it, and I've felt this way since I was a young kid. The coach, even in midget hockey, sets the tone for the team, what kind of team they're going to be. And when you see a coach that's had good success and the players did respect him, all of a sudden this happens. This is, and I'm not saying that it's this bad, but this reminds me so much of Mike Yeo in 2018.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here's where I'm going to go with this. Okay. Brett Hull, age 31 season, 43 goals.
Yeah.
Age 32 season, 42 goals. Age 33 season, 27 goals. Age 34 season, 32 goals. Stanley Cup. Age 35 season, 24 goals. Age 36 season, 39 goals. Age let me get the age 37, 30 goals. 82 games, 30 goals. Age 38, 82 games, 37 goals. Age 39, 81 games, 25 goals. Goal scorers score goals. Okay? Make sure you got that. That's gameplay.
No, that's
goal
right.
scorers score goals.
You can have a kid that's 26 years old and he scores 35 goals, but if he learns the game and hones his skill, he can still score that when he's 33, 34 because he's smarter, because they get smarter as they get older.
Yeah.
They may lose some of that scoring ability, but they make up with it with getting smarter. And people keep saying that one of the reasons we're losing is because of David Perron. My first question is this. Are the Red Wings undefeated with David Perron? Are the Red Wings one of the top teams in the league with David Perron?
Well,
no.
They've got a winning record, I think.
Well, last time I checked, they were 6-4 and something, or 5-4, 4-5-1, or 5-4.
Still a better record than we got.
Well, yeah, but David Perron isn't going to fix this team. He's not. We wouldn't have won any of these games because we're getting blown out by 4, 5, 6 goals.
Bob Morton says the frustrating thing is people are just starting to see this with O'Reilly, but it's been trending this way for a long time now.
Well, I even said last year that O'Reilly didn't look like the same player. He hasn't looked like the same player since he got the C.
Well, you know what? Here's the problem, Jason. And it's not – the problem is, do you know who owns that broadcast? Do you know who owns that broadcast? Do you know who Bernie Federker works for? It's not who you think. Okay? Bernie Federko, Joey Vitale, Chris Kerber, Darren Pang, Kelly. I can't even think of his first name now. Not Dan Kelly.
John
Kelly. Federko. They all work for the Blues. The Blues own that telecast. The Blues own the podcast. So they have to toe the Blues line.
Yeah. And,
right?
and Ryan, we're not freaking out. It's just the fact that, and we know it's early, they're going to come back and play better, but they shouldn't be here. That's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah, you're right. I agree there.
Yeah, and I love Robert Morton. Holy shit, I agree with Lance.
Yeah, he rarely does. No, and not only that, they've had 543 in the offensive zone compared to 317 for the Islanders.
Yeah,
right. In stats, they've almost. I mean, the attempts are the same.
It's not about how much time you spend in the offensive zone. It's what you're doing with that time in the offensive zone.
Well, see, you know what? You know why he can do that on 101 ESPN? Because they don't own anything with the Blues.
Yeah,
they don't have anything to do with the Blues.
I will tell you, there's been times in the past.
Or with the Cardinals, not the Blues. They have the Blues.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of people that call games in the past.
Yeah,
and I have seen Darren Pang, when the Blues had some issues, say, guys, this team's not playing well. He goes, we're not going to win this way. They must be better. He's not going to go on a rant like I can or Guy can, because that's his employer. You know, he can call it out so much, but he can't go to that far extreme.
Well, okay, Ryan. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up, right? Um, but he's talking with Jamie Rivers. Does it? I'm not sure what you're saying there, Jason.
What do you mean? Are you talking about
Alexis Stott.
Jamie Rivers does stuff for the Blues?
Yes, he does. He absolutely does.
Yeah.
He not only does he work for the Blues, he gets hired by the Blues for training.
And I
was home. He had told me that he had been hired by them a couple of times. That I couldn't go into a practice.
Yeah.
He wanted to bring me into practice. He says I can't because the Blues hired me.
Yeah. And I will tell you, he's got to be in this locker room at times, and he's got to deal with these guys, and he works with the Blues, and he is pretty candid when he needs to be, because I've heard him on the radio show in the afternoon saying, guys, this ain't cutting it. Like when Bennington had the problems, and I think something's wrong, but Bennington's not good enough right now, when they were playing Husso a lot. So he is pretty honest about it, especially if you get to talk with him privately.
Yeah. So what ESPN 101 owns the rights to broadcast Blues games. So they have to be very careful what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I had a radio station contact me. Okay? I have had a radio station contact me. And they talked to me about doing some certain things. The problem is this radio station isn't connected with the Blues, and because of that, they didn't feel like they wanted to do a Blues-related show because they didn't feel like they'd have to pay for rights that they don't have, right? So that's why they stepped back. But it was something that was talked about. I wish I could have made it happen. I wish I could have gotten a sponsor. We looked for one. No one didn't show up. That doesn't matter. But what it comes down to, these teams, and these teams, when it comes to the media, they control way too much, right?
Mm-hmm,
I have been told this. I have been told this. I don't know this for a fact, but I have been told this. There have been people that have had their media credentials removed.
Yes.
Because they have asked Doug Armstrong a question in the elevator.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or there's been people that haven't had their credentials removed, but because of an article they wrote or a piece they wrote, the Blues brass has talked to them about it. So they've got to be careful. If I work for the Blues, I wouldn't be able to be this candid. I'd love to be able to be candid, but I couldn't be.
Well, that's the thing. And I think that they need, see, that's the problem. If you don't allow the media to be candid, you're hurting yourself. You're absolutely hurting yourself. When they tried to do that social media influencer thing, one of the things was you couldn't say anything. Oh, see, Bennington's losing his cool already. See, that's got me worried. Bennington was so much better when he wasn't losing his cool. And he's starting to lose his cool. He was jarring it with Nelson, and then somebody came up to him. He straight up shouldered Chigorkin.
When Bennington does it game in, game out, it's not a good sign. When he does it like during a playoff thing or once or twice a year, it motivates him and gets him going. When he's doing
guys,
all the
time for the game back. Sorry, Lance. Game's
That's
back
right.
on. We'll see you at the post game. Yep. Aloha. Well, this is not going to be a long post-game show, that's for sure. You know, I'm torn on this one, guys. I'm really torn right now. I mean, I want to say, you know, the second period, the lack of effort was there, but you know, and I don't. You know what? I'm with you on this one, bud. I'm with you on this one, but I think that, you know, how do the rules always seem to change, right? First of all, Barbashev didn't give Sorkin a chance to get up to play the puck. Sorkin's laying on his stick. That's on Sorkin, not Barbashev, right? I'm sorry. That's on Sorkin. And then, oh, well, the net was completely off its moorings. It was the Islanders that made the net go off its mooring. If the opposing team makes the net go off its moorings, it doesn't matter when the puck crosses the goal line, as long as the whistle hasn't been blown. The whistle hadn't been blown, right? This is not, I'm sorry, you know, I put it up here. I showed it. It said, you know, the score, it should change now. The Blues 4, Blues 2, Isles 4, Refs 2. Because that's what it is. You took 2 goals away that should have been goals, right? And it always seems like the NHL rules are they're not rules per se, they're guidelines, and they shift day on, day out, right? And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this stuff. No, Darkness, you're right. Right, Darkness, you're absolutely right. They should have won this game. I mean, this is just bad all the way around. If Berube's lost the locker room, then the guys have got to figure it out for themselves. Because the coach, the GM's already said the coach isn't going anywhere. So you guys need to have a meeting and do whatever. But this is bad. 6-game losing streak. Right? 6-game losing streak. And you're about to face the Bruins in 3 days. 4 days. Right? This is not how you play hockey. This is not how you're supposed to play hockey. Right? But at the same time, you know, God, I don't want to blame this on the refs, but the refs took this game away from the Blues. The 2 times they tried to crawl back in, it got taken away from them. I'm absolutely surprised that they didn't come back and say, oh, wait a minute, it was the Islanders that kicked it in, so since it was kicked in, it doesn't count. John, you might be right, bud. You might be right. This was just, I don't know what's going on. You know, and there's guys that are playing on this team, right? Don't get me wrong. There are guys that are playing on this team, right? Parashenko, Barbashev, Bushnevich, Bennington, Torpachenko, who else am I thinking of? I thought Brown had a decent game.
Oh, Brown sucked. He was terrible. Come on, guy. You weren't watching that same game I was, were you? Because every time I look, he was doing something stupid or he was being lazy. Brown does not deserve a roster spot. He's not good enough to be a full-time NHL player. And I guess after the Achari experiment, after the Achari experiment didn't work out, does that mean that the next thing is he's going to put Brown or Torp on the number 1 line because they bring so much energy? Come on.
I wouldn't mind Torp on the number 1 line.
Oh, God, guy, come on.
Come on. What does Torp do out there? At least Torp tries to get the puck to the net.
He made so many mistakes tonight, give up pucks, and he is lost on the ice. He's a 4th-line player at best.
Right? I don't know, man. I just don't know. That something's got to change. Something has to change.
Something has to change, and in my mind, it starts at the top. Berube's got to change something up. I don't care what Armstrong says that Berube's not going anywhere. It's Berube's job to change things up. It's the player's job to work with those changes. And anybody that says, well, all he can do is put them on the ice, and then no. You've got to keep moving forward, and you got to keep, what's that word I'm looking for? You got to keep evolving with your players.
Yeah, I agree.
Stagnant. You just can't.
I agree. We are stagnant. And the thing is, this is the same thing we had last year. It shouldn't be this.
It shouldn't. No.
Right? He's a bull in a I like Torpachenko. I'm sorry. I guess I don't see his mistakes as much as you guys do. Because every time I see him, he's on the puck. Now, he's lost the puck a couple of times, but he was on the puck. There was no one for him to do anything with. He's got speed. He uses it. Kyrou is lost out there.
Kyrou played good defense tonight. He went in the back and forechecked and was hitting people in the boards. He's got a problem offensively, I'll tell you that much. But defensively, he's better than people are giving him credit for. But offensively, he just, I don't know what's wrong. I really don't.
No, this is the hard one to talk about.
Yeah,
and the stats are a telling story, right? The Islanders had 30 shots, 8 were blocked, 12 missed the net. That's 50 attempts. They had 20 hits. They had 6 giveaways, 17 takeaways. The Blues can't hold on to the effing puck. The Blues cannot hold on to the puck.
And I agree with Dale Klonke. O'Reilly, what did you watch him on the bench in the last 5 minutes of the game? He was like this.
Yeah. I kind of looked away. They blocked 9 shots. They lost the face-off battle 22-29, 43% to 57%. The Blues ended up with 34 shots, outshot the team, and got beat 5-2. Well, that's not true. The score should have been 4-4, and this should have gone to overtime. But we can talk about that later. Blues had 9 blocked, missed the net 19 times. 19 freaking times. 25 hits, 8 giveaways, 10 takeaways, 8 blocks.
How many hits did the Islanders have?
20.
And you know, Guy, if you go back since Berube's been here, their winning percentage when they out-hit people is not as good as when they don't out-hit people.
I know that.
And because fans still out there say, oh, we need to hit more. No, you don't.
No, we don't.
You need to hit when you can hit. You don't just need to be flying around the ice that gets you out of position. And I think we saw that a couple times tonight when the Blues did hit, but it put that player out of position.
Yeah. Hey, big thank you to Charles Jenkins, my high school buddy Aaron Coltier, Robert Foley, Hockey Bob, John Pinner, Dave Talent, and so many others. Thank you so much. We had 16 likes for the whole show today. Because I know you can only like it once, where before you could like each show. You know, we do it a little different, but I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. First of all, the goaltender interference, that was not goaltender interference. Sorkin was laying on his stick. What is he supposed to do? Drop his stick because the goalie's laying on it?
Mm-hmm.
It was a loose puck. It was a loose puck. He is the same thing. This is what gets me. We go back to the playoffs, and Kadri falling on Bennington was not goalie interference. It was a perfect play. It was a legal play because the puck was open and he was going for the puck. That's all I heard. He was going for the puck. The fact he changed his body and all those other things didn't matter. He was going for the puck. Well, here's an empty puck. That's exactly what Barbashev tried to do. It was never covered up. It was never under a pad. Yet, he interfered with the goalie. I don't know how that happens.
The reason that I don't think it was interference is because, yes, Barbashev did get in there and he was fighting for the puck. But he got up and 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds later, Sorokin's still down in the ice with another Islanders player, and there's no Blues player around when that shot goes in the net. That is why it's not goaltender interference, because by the time that shot went through,
Sorokin had time to reset.
He had time to get up and reset, and he laid there.
Yeah, right? And then the puck crossing the line? Well, wait a minute. Who knocked it? It is so important because they changed this rule 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's who knocks the net off the moorings, right? If the opposing team causes the net to leave its moorings, then when the puck crosses the line does not matter as long as the whistle is not blown. And that, for me, is important because A, the whistle hadn't been blown, and it was the Islanders who forced the net off the mooring. Not the Blues player did not go into it. He was pushed into it, and it was also the stick that took it off. So with all that being said, when that puck crossed, the only thing that matters when the whistle went off. That's the rule. Why did the mooring coming off the moorings matter? It shouldn't have mattered. NHL, know your own freaking rules. That game should have been 4-4. I'm not blaming the refs. I'm just saying that the refs took away 2 good goals. And I'll tell you what, had that been reversed on both of them, I would have said that they were good goals. With all the goaltender interference stuff that we've seen, that was a good goal. If what Kadri did wasn't goaltender interference, then what Barbashev did wasn't goaltender interference. I'm dead on this right now. Okay, I'm dead on this. If I'm Armstrong, I'm calling the league office tomorrow, and I'm filing a protest. I'm straight up filing a protest, and I'm saying, wait, this is the rules. Both of those goals, by rules, were good. By rule was good. Well, the on-F Rice called the first one a goal. There wasn't enough evidence to overturn that. Now, the second one, they didn't call a goal. So they had to have conclusive to overturn it. But the net leaving the mooring should never have mattered. Right? The net leaving the mooring should have never have mattered. If you want to call it on Toronto, I know Toronto looks at it, but I thought it was the ref on ice who made the final call. Isn't that the way it is?
No, Toronto makes that final call, and then the ref goes out and says what the goal.
Oh, I thought the ref was responsible for that call.
No. That's why they call Toronto. Toronto says, "Here's what happened. If that's a goal, or it's not a goal, or it's goalie interference. That's not goalie interference." And then he shakes his head, and then he goes out and calls it. He does not have the final say on that.
Well, if I'm Armstrong, I'm calling the league office tomorrow. Shit, I'd be calling Bettman tonight.
He ain't doing that. Armstrong ain't going to do that.
He's got to call the league office. He absolutely has to call the league office.
He's not calling the league office over this game. I can guarantee you he's not going to do it.
I would. I absolutely would. Right? By rule, those were goals. By rule, those were goals. Do you see how many times that the Blues have this happen against them? Consistently. They get goals overturned. They get goals allowed that shouldn't be. Well, right? They get offsides called that aren't offsides.
It's not just the Blues guy. The refereeing across the board is not good. It's worse than it's ever been in my mind.
It's FUBAR, man. I agree with Shockey. It is all FUBAR.
And, Mr. Clunk there says, you give young players big contracts too early. I don't agree with that because here's why. Let's say the Blues go, okay, we're going to trust ourselves and we're going to wait and see what Thomas and Kyrou do. Let's say in the last year of their contract, they eat the league alive, and both of them,
which was this year,
both of them have 100-point seasons. They're not getting those guys for $8 million a year. They're not going to get them for that. It would cost them $9.5. That's why they did it. The upside to them was more than the downside to them, and that's why they did it. If it doesn't work, I give them credit for trying, because there are a lot of teams that would have waited, and sometimes it bites you in the butt, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I think they made the right moves.
I do too.
Kyrou, I'll tell you what. You know what Kyrou would help Kyrou a lot. There's one thing that I think would help Kyrou an absolute ton. I think you know what it is. What do you think? I'm asking you guys. What do you think out there is something that would make Kyrou better? I mean, instantly better. There's something that could be done that would make Kyrou instantly better. As long as I got a hell of an associate GM. Right? As long as I got a hell of an associate GM. Oh.
And you want to bring up what Chris Shockey just said?
Hold on. What?
You want to bring up what Shockey just said?
I think Ryan having a contract yet, not having a contract yet was said, has him in his head.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, and
I'm not going to go about that.
Yeah, I know that they did discuss his contract with him before the season started. I don't know if they had since.
Hey, Dale. Oh, sorry, Lance.
Oh, go ahead.
Dale. The rule states that if it is knocked off, if the opposing team causes the net to leave its moorings,
and the puck crosses the line,
when the puck crosses the line,
mm-hmm.
the only thing that matters is the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
The whistle hadn't blown.
Yep.
It was the Islanders that caused that net to leave its moorings, not the Blues player.
Yep.
So that because the whistle didn't blow way until after they saw it, but knowing the whistle blew, then they look and the puck is so that's what should have been the important when the whistle was blown.
He pushed Neighbors in, number one. Number two, his stick pushed it off that one post there.
Yep.
It started to go back, and before the whistle was blew, that puck was over that line.
The line, yeah.
Definitely.
That's all that matters on that play.
That's all.
Right?
And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in other games, and they call it a goal.
They call it a goal. I absolutely agree with that. So, you know what? The one thing that I think will help Kyrou right here, right now, and you could do instantly?
What's that?
He needs a new coach. He needs a coach that's going to let him be him.
Well, here's if you watch him, when you can tell Berube is allowing him to be a guy that can score goals and be somewhat of a puck handler and somewhat of a playmaker. I know he's not a center, but when he allows him to do that, Kyrou looks very confident. When he's on to Kyrou about being, a two-way player, Kyrou gets confused. And I'm not saying Berube's wrong. I would like every player to be a two-way player, but they're just not. There's guys that are snipers and natural goal scorers that may someday be decent to good, defensive players and not give up too much. But if I got a guy that's got that talent, I'm telling him, don't make any huge mistakes defensively. Go out there and do what you need to do to score goals and get other guys the puck. That's what I'm telling him.
Brett Hull.
Yeah, can you imagine? Okay, and people argue with me this one time when I put this on Twitter. They say Brett Hull would have been as successful under Berube and has scored as many goals. No, he would not have. He would not have, because when he went to Dallas and he butted heads with Hitchcock, he scored goals, but he had his best full game because Hitchcock made him defensively responsible.
Yep.
And his goals went down.
Well, actually, they went up a little bit. So his last year in St. Louis, he had 27 goals, 45 assists, and 72 points. So he was starting to change there. In Dallas, he has 32 goals, 24 goals, 39 goals, 30 goals, 37 goals.
Yeah. But in that second year, that's when Hitchcock really got onto him, because that first year, Hull told him, I'm not playing defense. And they butted heads all that.
Well, that's the year he won. That's the year they won the cup.
Yeah. But
98, 99. 99 is when they won the cup.
Yeah, he still butted heads with him that whole season. Yeah. And I'm telling you, Wayne Gretzky under Berube's coaching would not be the greatest player in the world. He wouldn't. And I'm not knocking Berube. It's his style. And if that's what works for him, it works for him. But you can't take a guy that's a round peg that is 80% offensive player and 20% defensive player and make that round peg fit into a square defensive hole. You can't do it.
I'm with you.
Not every guy is Alex Steen. And if you want to really know about Alex Steen, he was great until he got to be about 32, 33. And then he went because he spent so much time being a two-way 200-foot player.
Yep. I'm not saying that the coach needs to be fired.
No, I'm not saying that either.
What I'm saying is that this Kyrou's game doesn't match what Berube's mindset is, and that's the problem.
The problem is and I've said it before, and if I had a dollar for every time I said it, I'd be a millionaire. Good coaches, Scotty Bowman, Joe Quenneville, and so on and so forth, they take a guy's skill set. All right, I've got this system. This is what this guy does best. This is how I'm going to use him. So what he does best is magnified and he can succeed. They don't take a guy and go, here's my system. I know you do this best, but I want you to do this best. It doesn't work.
You know what a great example of that is Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson instituted the triangle offense in the NBA. And it wasn't that he had Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was there years before.
Mm-hmm.
It's when he's moved players that fit that triangle. When he finally made the triangle offense, that's when all the players fit, and that's when they won games. When he went, I think didn't he win a championship somewhere else too? I know he won 6 with the Bulls, but I thought he won 1 with somebody else.
I thought he won 1 too.
Right? It wasn't well, I think he went to the Knicks. I don't think he won there. He might have been with LA. He may have, but he was able to use that triangle offense he made the triangle offense to fit the players he had. But Ruby needs to make an offense and a defense to fit the players he has. And he has a team that can cycle the puck. They're not a forechecking team.
Yeah, and you know what Phil Jackson did? Here's my example that kind of goes to Kyrou. Kyrou's an offensive guy. Put him where he's going to be successful. Phil Jackson didn't take a 3-point shooter and put him underneath the rim because it doesn't work. That's a great analogy right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I'm not doing a long show tonight. Actually, I'm surprised we went this long. I'm going to call it a show. We will do a show tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, I will be here. Saturday, kind of iffy. I'm going to play Saturday by ear right now. And, we'll be back Sunday for the game against, and that'll be an earlier one. Oh, actually, no, it won't, because the clocks will shift. Monday, clocks will shift. So it'll actually be about this time, I think. It'll be almost the same time this game was. So clocks are shifting. We don't change clocks here, so it's going to adjust things for me a little bit, move them out some. So where your guys are 5 hours now, the East Coast will be 5 hours out. You'll only be 4 hours out. Dale Clunk says, Ashley Jones, I think his head is on the chopping block this year. He has made some very bad decisions, signing too. I don't think that those were bad decisions. I really don't. I think that they're early. It's too early to call it a bad decision, right? It is. It's way too early.
Berube didn't make those decisions.
No, he's talking about Army.
Armstrong.
Because Ashley talked about Army up here.
All right.
Right. Ashley had mentioned Army up here in an earlier comment. I can't find it now, but she had. I don't see the comment, but okay, guys. Lance, thank you, man. Thank you. Have a great one. Again, thank you so much. I apologize for some of the drama I've caused. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you being there, and I appreciate you allowing me that 15 minutes to talk about what was going on. And I hope I said it in a way that was right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you did.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Aloha.